What's up? I'm Sarah. I'm a writer and interviewer here with Banded PR, and I am joined today by some old friends and some new friends, the guys from San Antonio rock band Ready Revolution. How's it going, dudes?
How's it going?
What's
It's good.
up?
You caught us here in the studio. We're about to rehearse, just waiting on a drummer, which is it's funny because his timing isn't the best today, but hopefully it'll get better.
All right, good deal. So, just as a quick little backstory for the Banded viewers here, they might recognize two of you guys from a band that I've covered many times, the Last Bandoleros. We got brothers Diego and Emilio here, but we've also got, well, right now we've got two, but maybe at some point we'll have three other equally as talented and awesome faces here to introduce. So, could the four of you just quickly introduce yourselves and let people know your role in the band?
Yes, I am Diego, and I play guitar and sing lead vocals in Ready Revolution.
I'm Emilio, and I play guitar and sing some vocals in Ready Revolution.
And I'm Shane, and I play bass, and I sing sometimes in Ready Revolution.
Me too.
Matt, I play guitar, and I also sing sometimes too. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
All right, good deal. So, Let It Out is your first full-length release in like 8 years?
Yeah.
And this show you guys have coming up in San Antonio is your first show as a band in several years too, I think.
That's right. I think the last one we had was in 2018. Yeah. So yeah, a few years.
Yeah, it's been a minute. So you guys kind of disappeared for a little bit as a unit. But what was everyone else up to in the meantime? And what prompted this comeback?
I think we're all musicians, so we've been touring this whole time, and just kind of picked up other gigs along the way. Kind of regional stuff in Texas. I kind of dove into the studio and just started producing bands and doing a lot of songwriting and stuff, and the record kind of always it's always been there. It's kind of just been in the back of like everyone's minds, like at least once or twice a week we'll be like, man, we
Let it out.
We should really put that out, or let it out. And just in the last couple months, it all kind of just came together, just felt right, to finally do it and get back together.
Nice. So there wasn't a whole lot of teasing for this record. I noticed just this like social media post a few days before that first single. Then you did the same thing with the second one, and then again with the actual record announcement. So like within 2 weeks from the start of all of that, we had the record.
Yeah.
This, isn't the typical way record announcements are done, but I thought it kind of made it more impactful. And I felt like it focused more on like the love and the loyalty from your longtime fans. It felt really personal. So was that sort of surprise and shock value important to you in getting this record into the world?
Mm-hmm.
I think that was a part of it. I also think I would be lying if I didn't say that we've just been sitting on it for a long time, and we've been listening to it, and like we're really excited about it. It would be torture to put ourselves through another 6 months of we're releasing this record. You know what I mean? So yeah. I think the shock value and just the immediacy and urgency of just releasing it, I think was a part of it, and also us wanting it to be out there so we could do something new.
Yeah. So you're all San Antonio natives, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I thought. I've wanted to visit there for a good while. I haven't found my way down there yet. So this next question's kind of based in just like plain ignorance of the music scene down there. But
Okay.
Is your particular style of music something that you see a lot in San Antonio? Like, where did you guys draw influence for your sound?
Good question. They're definitely, especially a few years ago when we were doing this, grinding pretty hard, there definitely was a scene where we could be kind of make a bill with some of our friends that would make sense. But I don't think anyone really sounds like us, to be honest with you. I don't even know if there's a scene for us to go to. You know what I mean? I think it's just.
Yeah, I think our influences, we just draw from the music that we each like, and when we get in the band room, the five of us, that kind of just comes out when we write tunes. It's kind of the first and only thing I've ever been a part of where like we can start a song literally from scratch in the rehearsal room and pour all of our influences into it. Wait, let's see.
Oh,
That's here's our roadie. Here's our roadie Arnst. All right, Arnst, we're in an interview. You gotta go for a second.
God, there you go, dude.
Yeah.
See, even the roadie's here before the drummer.
Man. So,
But yeah, I mean, I don't think I was influenced by any artists that I saw coming up around here, but I can't speak for everyone.
A lot's changed, you know, since like, you know, back when we were really touring a lot, playing a lot, you know, especially in San Antonio and doing a lot of like headlining shows. There was like a really big scene here, you know, 2015, 2016. We had a lot of friends in bands, so it was really easy to put shows together back then. Everyone was, you know, making music and trying to promote something. You know, so much time has passed. You know, we're kind of the only ones doing it right now. So,
So yeah.
all right. So Ready Revolution has existed as a unit in some capacity for like just over 10 years now, based on your Spotify.
Yes.
How would you guys say the band has evolved over time from that first release to the latest?
Well, you know, so the first release was that was kind of just me and Emilio writing songs together and recording them in the bedroom.
Mhm.
And it was the album after that is kind of, I think, well, me, Emilio, and Shane started the band around that time, and shortly after that album was when we met Matt. So I think slowly, kind of the pieces over the years kind of came together. Matt brought in Kevin, our drummer, and the only way I can describe it now is that's the only way I kind of view the band is like the five of us, and because I think that's the best music that we've created, which is kind of like what's that Ain't in Love EP, which has like Ain't in Love, Odessa, Hey You, Stand Beside Me, like those tunes. That's what I think of the band. But yeah, those kind of the first two albums that we did were kind of just me and Emilio figuring out what the Ready Rev sound, kind of giving a direction of what it would be. But I truly believe it wasn't until it was the five of us that it really became what it is now.
Mhm. All right. So Let It Out I feel like it's a really cohesive record. Could you guys talk a little bit about the writing process for it? Like, when were these songs written? How were they written? How many were written? How is this thing pieced together? I know that's a lot.
It's cohesive only in that I think because it varies a lot, right? Like there's a lot of different, but it does sound like the same band with the same plan on the same track. And I think that that's just because it was written over a year of heavy touring, and almost weekly we had new songs. And to answer your question, there was a lot of songs that didn't make it onto the record that we had and that we would play live and either take parts and put them in another song, or I mean, it was just an ongoing process. Once we were in it and on tour nonstop, I mean, that's what you do every day is just make music with your band. So to answer your question, it was a lot of music in a short period of time. And I think the reason why it's cohesive is because that's all we did all day, every day for that year is be in this band. And I think that's why it feels like a cohesive piece of work.
Yeah. And also, I think it should be noted too, because we were playing so much, by the time we went to the studio, Sarah, all those like songs were recorded in the span of like 2 days. So we were just rushing through takes. I think it was Matt that said like most of everything was like 1 or 2 takes.
Yeah, everything for the most part is one take, you know, live. We were just
no tuner, no vocal tuner.
Yeah, you know, we were so rehearsed at the time. I mean, we were rehearsing constantly, you know, 3 times a week back then, which you know, it's hard to get us to get
now
one in. But no, I mean, we were just playing so much, and you know, we were to taking, you know, a new song at a time and really kind of writing it together in the band room, writing all our parts. And so everything was just, you know, worked out before we even stepped in the studio. So.
Nice.
God, Shane, shut up.
So the title for this record comes from track 6, Not the Only One. How did you guys land on that little tidbit of the track for the title?
Shane,
Yeah.
To start, it was just, I don't know. I mean, it was just something we'd
just
always
say
kind
it
of
to
use the
feel
word.
it.
Yeah, we would use feel it a lot. Like every time we would, you know, rock out, we're just like, man, we gotta feel it. You know, you wanna
let it out.
Yeah, we just gotta just let it out. Just, you know, when you get on stage, just let it all out. You know, just
Yeah, exactly.
feel it. And have a good time. And
Yeah. What was funny? He's exactly right. And when we did that song, Not the Only One, we had that section, and it was just a musical bit. And someone suggested, it was either my brother or Matt, was like, there's got to be a vocal thing here. I don't think it could totally be just an instrumental part. And I just went out and literally like that's what came out. That's either like take 2 or 3 that we use.
Mm-hmm.
And but because it's a term that, like Shane said, that we use, like just like, oh, we gotta let it out, we gotta feel it. That's what I was just like, oh, just let it out. That's what I sang, like just randomly, you know.
And then we went out and did the harmonies right on. Once we were like, that's it. Then we went out and did the harmony. That was it.
Yeah. So it was very spontaneous.
We don't think a lot in this band. We don't. I think that's why it's very brave for anyone that wants to interview us, because there's no deep thing behind anything. It's just like we feel it, we let it out, you know.
All right. Like reevaluating all of my questions now. I do have one that's gonna make all 4 of you give me an answer, so that's fun. So for each of you, what's your personal favorite track or favorite moment from the record that you would want listeners to pay extra attention to?
I want to hear Shane go first, honestly.
my favorite track, I don't know. There's quite a few, but if I had to pick one, it'd be "Not Over You." It's just something that really makes you feel it, and makes you want to play, makes you want to let it out. Because I mean, it's just rock.
Yeah,
it's a good rock.
It's a good rocking one. Yeah,
it is a good rock too. I like Bad. I like Bad a lot. I know Diego's gonna say that, but if I'm being truthful, I like Bad. And if I'm just picking something crazy, I would like I like Not the Only One. Yeah, I like that one.
It's because you wrote it.
It's because I wrote it, and it's also just because.
Well, it's because he wrote it, but I fixed it. You know.
Oh
yeah, sure you did. Sure you did. So yeah, I like that one because you think like it's gonna be some kind of like really crazy, hardcore kind of thing, and the riff is, but then
it's the most metal we've ever been.
It's pretty metal. It gets pretty Metallica, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, it's a pop rock song.
Yeah.
Disguised.
Sweetens up real nice.
Yeah, sweet and sour chicken.
Maddie?
You know, for a long time I was in between. I loved Not Over You was my favorite too. But there's something about Feel Like Me is that one. It just gets to the palm of your hand. I don't know, that one makes me big time feel it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I love it. That one's just it's so moody and
it makes you it makes you feel like you, right?
Yeah.
What about you?
Emilio's right. Bad is probably my favorite song. And it is my favorite song because that is the most collaborative song on the record. That song came out of nowhere in the rehearsal room. But I'm gonna pick to just give you a different answer, Know Me Too Well. And I'll tell you why at the moment. First of all, Emilio singing that bridge, his voice just pops out. Mm-hmm. And also we get Beach Boys for a minute and all these vocals just pop out. And I think that's the only recording where all 5 of us are singing on a Ready Rev record at the same time. Mm-hmm. Usually it's obviously me and Emilio. Matt does a lot of vocals, Shane will do some, but even Kevin's on Know Me Too Well. That big chorus where it sounds like a choir, that's all 5 of us.
He's got 1 note, right? Or 2?
Yeah, he's got a couple of notes. So when I hear that part, it always just makes me smile. It makes me feel it. because I don't know, it's very silly to me that the drummer's singing on it. But I love it in a good way, you know. It brings me a lot of joy.
He can go
And
pitch.
yeah, he can go pitch. He's a good singer. But also I just like how in that part it kind of goes to it takes you somewhere else, you know. I like that one. We should play that at our show.
That one, and
Know Me Too Well.
yeah, not the only one. They have crazy departures too. Like, I really like those two.
What's your favorite?
That's a good question.
Oh yeah.
Mine, I think, is Bad.
Yeah.
I'm into that one. But yeah, I listened to the whole thing like right before we did this interview, so I'm like feeling really
You're
amped
fresh.
up by it.
Yeah.
It's the whole thing.
Who needs coffee when you can? Who needs coffee when you could let it out? You know what I mean?
It makes you want the record makes you want to like dance or fight
Or kiss someone,
or do other things, or you know.
Yeah.
It's
Two other things. What other things are you talking about, Matt?
Something of a sexual nature.
Yeah. No, that's bad. I think we get that one. Like, I don't think we could play a show anymore without doing Bad, because we've been doing it on social media, like, what songs do you want to hear? And there's so many with Bad. You know? So I'm glad you picked that one, Sarah.
Yeah. So, do you guys have any, since we've been being kind of funny, do we have any funny, interesting stories from the process of making the record?
Oh boy.
all from making
Making the record?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember the first day.
Apart from the fact that it took 5 years to make.
No, hold on. It took about 5 months to make,
Right,
and then
at
it took
least.
4 years to release. Let's see. The fun about recording. I remember a story. Our engineer, we were working at a new studio, which evolved into this studio. But we were working at a new studio for us at the time, and the engineer, I heard him in the room calling his brother, it was Kevin, the drummer, and saying, "When are you gonna get here? Your band's here, and they're drinking IPAs, and it's 10 a.m."
Gotta feel it, right?
And I heard him on the other end go, "They're fine. I'll be there in 5 minutes." Yeah, but it was just funny too. That's how well rehearsed we were. Is it every day just felt like showing up at your friend's house and like playing music, but we were in a studio making a record. That's what it felt like to me. Yeah, we'd get some food. No one would eat it. Get a bunch of beer. Everyone would drink it. We'd have friends over and people constantly filming and recording. I mean, I think that's why the energy's there and the atmosphere that we created is because when we do get together, we like to not just have fun and include ourselves, but everyone that's around us and all of our friends, and it becomes a party. Everything becomes a party. I will assure you that in a few hours, there's going to be more friends here, and people are going to be listening to us play, and we're going to be having a good time because that's what we do. That's what this. I told you we don't think a lot.
I got a pretty good story. Me and Diego recut all the vocals at my house in Nashville. And
in like 2017,
yeah, 20 right before 20. Oh, yeah, in 2018.
Yeah,
right before that last show.
Because we were actually we were gonna release it in 2018. So we were kind of working on it, and we had been away from it for so long, and Diego was just like, I'm a different singer now. Like, I'm better now. Like, I'm in a different place. I think I can sing these songs better, or at least from a different perspective. And
he still only let me get like a couple of takes in though, and he
Yeah.
was like, "You're done.
Well,
you can't go anymore. You can't do."
we started like at noon, and once we got to Bad, it was like 8 o'clock, and I mean, we had probably drank an entire bottle of Jack Daniels, and so,
Come on,
Kevin.
yeah, come
Come on in.
Sarah. This is Kevin. Late, really late.
What's up?
Sit down, Bobby.
and
stand somewhere.
yeah, and
In the middle of a story.
yeah. Anyway, so we're probably like a whole bottle of Jack Daniels in, and we're both kind of feeling a little vulnerable and emotional, and
Where you going?
I mean, I like it.
and I mean, I'm not gonna say that we were like wasted, but we were wasted when we cut the vocals for Bad, and we kept them, and it just like, I think that's why that song sounds so eerie and cool, because we just I just made you scream into that mic, and
you were vulnerable.
yeah.
I think after the whole session, which
That
I
was the
sing
last
all the
one.
songs, we might have like shared a cigarette outside and cried.
Yeah,
It was one of those. It was one of those like days of just like, because it was also cool because we revisited these songs that we recorded like a few years ago. So it was like it was like hearing something in a, just like opening a time capsule or something, you know, which is how I think we all feel even now that the record's out. You know, it's kind of just putting us all in that state, you know. But I love that memory because now that you bring it back, yeah, you made me scream for like 12 hours straight.
Yeah. So if you listen to that song, it's Diego in my bedroom.
Vocal fried.
Yeah, like the last song we cut, I think that night, and that's what we kept. So
I love that.
Yeah.
Kevin, do you have any memories from making this record that are nice or funny or tender or vulnerable, as Matt brought up?
That I would cut a drum part, and then you two would go back and forth with each other, like arguing in the cutting room, like, no, that was awesome. You're like, no, like I think it could be, no, he should do this. And I was like, I'll just play it again. Like, it's fine. It was awesome. It was the best. It came together so easily.
Yeah.
All right. I do have a question for just Kevin.
Oh.
Well, I asked the rest of you about what your favorite track is from
yeah.
the record, and he wasn't here, so now he's got to tell us.
My favorite what?
Track on the record. Or
Track
favorite
on
moment
the
too,
record.
right?
Track or moment.
Yeah.
Track on the record.
Or moment.
Probably Know Me Too Well.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, we just talked about how you're singing on that.
Yeah. It's the only song I sing on it. And that's why it's probably the best song. I'm not going to say that, but
That's for you. That's for everyone else.
That's for everyone else to decide. Yeah. That one actually came together really, really easily.
Mm-hmm.
We were in this weird flow where, like, even though we were separated, where everyone was traveling and everyone was doing things musically, we were still getting together, and then we would come into the studio, and, like, listen to these songs, and then just play them and record them. And that was one of the ones that came together just so quickly. It was like, cool, we know the song, heard it, let's track the drums. Drums turned out great.
Yep.
Guitars are in. I think we finished like most of it in a day. And it was like,
Yeah,
so simple.
Yeah. That's right. That was one of the last ones cut. It was really easy.
Yeah. It's one of the most different ones too.
Big
Has a cool groove on it and like everything. Like it's just so
I,
different. from what
I
we
like
did.
that song, Kevin, because like first of all, you're my favorite drummer.
Yeah.
Number one. And number two, you don't play, it doesn't even sound like you on that song.
It
Like
really
you're playing
doesn't.
completely different than you normally do, and I
It's
think that
very
sounds
This is
great.
getting really nerdy now.
Well, I'm gonna keep it kind of nerdy, I guess, because Diego and Emilio kind of already expect this from me, but I've got a little game.
Oh wait, no, I don't think this is. First of all, I don't think this is nerdy at all. I love this.
Well, good. That makes me
It's
feel
just,
better.
it's just a,
Yes.
okay. You might have to get closer to see this, everyone.
Oh yeah.
Well, I'll read this stuff out loud too. But yeah, so Diego and Emilio have seen this wheel before. Let me get the wheel functioning. So basically, on this wheel are 5 questions based on 5 song titles,
Okay.
and you get to take turns spinning the wheel, except I have to spin it for you. So
Okay.
who wants to spin the wheel first?
I want to go. I'm gonna go last.
I'm gonna go first.
Yeah.
Okay,
We'll go like
this.
this.
We'll go this
Yeah,
way. Okay.
exactly.
perfect.
There it goes.
Okay. Bad. Tell us about something bad you or another member of the band have done.
Can I tell the Blue Moon story? Take advantage.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
So Sarah, we were touring, and we played a place in Louisiana, I think. I think we were in Baton Rouge.
Pictures and pints.
Yeah, and they said all the beer you can drink, if it's from the tap, you could drink whatever you want. So they had Blue Moon, and Shane was really into drinking Blue Moon at the time. And we played that show on so much beer. And everyone was at like on the same level that we were. So it was a really fun show. Everyone was
It
into
was like a sweaty show, you know. One of
And
those.
yeah, we were driving to
Badass Kevin and Shane.
we were driving somewhere, maybe Arkansas or something, Little Rock. I don't remember. It was an overnight drive.
We weren't driving.
Yeah, Barnes was driving.
Someone sober was. Yeah.
Yeah, no, of
Make
course.
that clear.
Well, we were in the van getting driven around, and Shane had to he drank too much, so we had to pull over on the side of the road, and he kind of just exorcised all over the field, and the whole time was just kept turning around to us and apologizing.
Yeah, after.
Yeah, he said, "I'm so sorry. I just took advantage of those free beers."
Took advantage.
That was that. I think that was something that we could all live with, everyone knowing. But when I saw that question, I got a little nervous.
Yeah, but now it's a thing. Now, like when we get together, if whether we're going out or we're gonna have a show or meeting up, we always will just tell Shane, "Are you gonna take advantage today? Are you gonna take advantage?"
Oh.
Nice one.
All right,
Kev.
I'm worried now.
I know that was kind of. Well, I mean, you have to be playful with it. We couldn't get into like all the dark stuff.
Yeah. I saw that little devil eating.
Oh yeah, no, it made me scared.
Yeah. All right, good love. Yeah. What did you love most about recording Let It Out?
This is like such a brotherhood record.
Oh,
we were in such a good place, like as a band. We were touring, we were like, and like everyone was in, and like we were just all there. And getting to cut drums like in front of Emilio and with Diego, like Matt, like my brother actually was the producer,
engineer.
Yeah, the engineer
producer.
Shane's like always laying it down, like just the whole band in general. We were in such a good place cutting the record. So
that's a lot of. It was a lot of love.
Yeah.
Love that, Kevin.
It came together real quick, so it was easy.
That was good. That was much more wholesome.
That'd be great. I hope it's like, have you ever offered to pay for a whole party in Nashville just so you can have a party?
All right, Misery. Was there any part of the record making process that you didn't love?
There has to be something, baby. Be honest.
No, honestly,
Maybe the hours waking up and shit.
Yeah, that'd probably be it. If anything, just having to wake up.
You're not really an early bird, right?
No,
you
really.
weren't. I don't think you were.
Yeah, at the time I wasn't. So if anything, that would be it. But then, like Emilio said, there would be beer, there would be tacos. We wouldn't eat the tacos. No. Oh, sometimes maybe I take like 2 bites. That's about it, and then just go straight to the middle. Straight to the beer. Yeah, and but yeah, there's nothing really.
If I could just tack on, the only thing that I didn't like about making it is that it took so long to come out.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
And that's about it.
I will say I know we're all adding on to this, Sarah, but this is just how it goes. We don't, I didn't like the vocal thing that me and Matt were talking about. Mm-hmm. I didn't like that I didn't get like as many passes as I want. Matt didn't let me record like if I didn't like a certain note or a certain way vocal inflection. But I'm really, really glad now. At the time I hated it, but I'm glad that he didn't allow me to track more. Because when I listen now, I don't know, it just has a certain fucking attitude to it that I really love. At the time though, I didn't like it at all. So good job, Matt.
Yeah.
Everybody think doing that.
Yeah, thanks, Matt.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, Matt. I don't know what kind of questions did he get.
These are making me nervous.
Oh yeah.
I like this wheel.
Yeah, I love it too.
That's what we should do in the next gig. Instead of making a set list, just spin a wheel like that.
Exactly.
All right.
Not over you.
Were there any particularly fun or exciting moments from writing or recording Let It Out that you still can't get over?
Love these questions.
Man, still can't get it over. I think yes. Well, okay, so right at the very tail end of the record, we actually we recorded 3 songs, older songs, from the Hangovers and Heartaches record that we were actually supposed to put on this record, and I mean, we got almost all the way to vocals on those songs, and we just never got to it. And it's been so long the hard drives that those songs live on, they're locked away in like
They're in the wind.
They're in like a storage unit like somewhere, and so I don't even know where those songs are. And I mean, maybe they weren't supposed to be on the record, but yeah, in the back of my mind, I'm like, there's just so many songs like that are just floating out there that never saw the light of day, and so
Yeah.
that I kind of like
Can't get over.
yeah, I can't get over it.
But you know what
Let's
though?
not do it again, honestly.
Yeah,
You
just
know what?
do
There
it
was
today.
also a cover of Day Tripper on there.
Mm-hmm.
The Beatles Day Tripper,
wow.
a heavy Day Tripper.
I don't even remember recording that.
A new version of Love Disaster and
Bang Bang.
Bang Bang Shoot Shoot. I think.
Maybe if we dig them out, we could put them on like a special release.
Maybe we'll let those out too.
Yeah.
Forgot about that.
Oh, my turn.
There's just one more, but I have to spin it so you can actually see it.
I can't really see it.
It's
Though. The
gonna pop
text is
up,
kind
it's
we're
gonna
on a
pop up.
phone, so the text is kind of small. But
There you
I'll
go.
see-
Know me
Nope.
too well. After having been on a hiatus of sorts, bearing in mind that you guys are good friends, do you feel like making this record allowed you to know each other better as musicians now?
100%. This was the first record where we literally, like, if I brought in a song idea or my brother brought in a song idea, we sat down and played it in a band room, like, together. Everyone worked out their parts, and to the point where we all knew each other's parts so damn well. So by the time we got to the studio, if someone had an idea, there was no like ego involved, because this was our song, this was our creation. To where my vocal line is Kevin's as much as his snare fill is mine. It was like kind of like that, you know what I mean? And in that sense, just our brotherhood was like closer than ever. And yeah, I mean, that's the closest I've felt of being like in a fucking gang where, they're gonna have your back on stage.
We're also just way better now, like as musicians, I think.
Yeah, I can't wait to make the next record.
Yeah.
We might start on it today, Sarah.
Hey. Love to hear that. All right. Well, that's the end of the game.
That was a great one.
That
like
was a
that
game.
Playing. All right. I have a few more questions for you.
Okay.
I know you guys have this pretty exciting show coming up really soon in San Antonio on March 25th at the 502 bar.
Oh yeah.
How are you guys feeling about that, especially with it being your first live show in a hot minute?
That's a shame question, honestly.
That's the best question.
Man, so excited. Honestly, I've never even been so excited for. I think I have been, but I'm just super excited for the show. I honestly have not many. I don't really have any words because I'm just that excited. I don't really know.
We're gonna get through the first song, and then we're just gonna be like, "Oh yeah, there we go," and then we're just gonna roll.
Yeah.
I can't wait to go fast. Honestly, let's go.
I'm really excited for the set list. I'm really, really excited because we get to play these new songs live, and we get to play songs that we haven't played since 2012 or 13. Yeah. And then also, I think all of us probably feel all the love from our diehard fans on social media. I think that's getting us really excited, seeing them get the pre-sale tickets and requesting certain songs that we haven't even played before. That is getting us really, really pumped and excited for the 25th.
Nice.
We'll have to Anna,
Yeah.
so you can see us live.
Mhm.
Where's
That is kind of related to my next question. With this record out into the world and with an exciting show in your hometown on the horizon, are there other plans for the band that you can share, like more shows so that I can see you?
Can we talk about it?
I don't know if we should talk about anything. I would just say keep on the lookout.
Okay.
We're definitely, everything's in the works. Everything that you talk about is what we want to do.
Mhm.
So we just got to do it right. So we'll get over this show, and then once we do that, then I'm sure that we're all going to look at each other and say, okay, say goodbye to everybody. We'll see you in 2 years. We're going to go out on the road. You know, that's how I feel. It's like there's so much time in between that I'm like, oh, I just want to do this nonstop. But I mean, we all have to work all that stuff out, and once we do, I'm sure we'll be coming to a city near you.
Oh yeah,
Our roadie aunts just fixed up the
man.
the tour van too. So
Oh, so we have no
Yeah.
excuse.
Back in the van.
Nice, nice. I mean, Indianapolis and Chicago. They have
Bro.
venues, and I have a car.
Chicago as well.
We've done
Wait, how
Chicago too.
close is Chicago from where you are?
Depending on which part, it's like 2 or 3 hours.
Oh, then we'll see
Not
you in
bad.
Chicago?
Chicago.
Yeah.
But we'll definitely be doing Nashville soon, and Chicago's a city that we've gone to a bunch of times and have a lot of friends that are in bands there, so it shouldn't be too hard to get something going there.
Mhm. Hey, Nashville works for me sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
Depends on how grad school's rocking.
Right.
rock and roll.
Yeah, something like that.
Uh,
So just one more question. I always like to end interviews with this. Is there anything you guys were hoping to talk about that I didn't ask you about?
No, I think we've established that we don't think about stuff. We really love each other, and
We love the album.
we love the album that we made.
We want
and
everyone to let it out.
everyone should keep calm and let it out. That's what I say.
There you
Or
go.
rage and let it out. Just
Anything and let it
yeah.
out.
Whatever it takes to
To let it out.
yeah.
There's a band t-shirt idea.
Whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes.
I like that.
Matt, you good, Matt?
Like that.
All
Okay.
right. Well, that's all I've got for you guys. Thanks for sitting down and talking with me. I'm really digging this record. And with so much of our banded audience being rock fans, I think they're really going to love this too.
Awesome. Well,
That's
thank you for
great
doing
to
this,
hear.
Sarah, and we'll talk soon and hopefully see you somewhere close so you can see us let it out.
Yes.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Bye. Thank you.
Banded friends, go stream Let It Out by Ready Revolution wherever you get your digital music, and check out Ready Revolution on social media. They're all over Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and you'll definitely want to be on the lookout for tour dates, hopefully coming soon, and whatever else they've got up their sleeves. Oh, and make sure you're following Banded PR too. See you around.